a very warm welcome to tonight's session. I am thrilled to see that we already have 20 people in our session, and it shows me that you are really committed to getting yourself ready for the exam coming up. I just want to get the slideshow going and then to share my screen quickly. All right. Okay. And I think that is where we need to be, except we are on the wrong slide. All right, that's where we need to be. Once again, welcome everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us for the session. I must remind you that we are recording the session so that those who are unable to join us can then view the recording afterwards. I have disabled your cameras and your microphones, but when we open the session for Q&A at the end, I will then disable your microphones and just your microphones. I have invited a couple of special guests tonight. Some of the markers have joined us tonight because I have been getting complaints from some of the students that are asking me whether the markers really know what they are doing and do the markers understand the work. And I answered you by telling you that all my markers are very experienced, either serving members of the SAPS or members that have retired or resigned from the SAPS and are now working in other spaces. All of them have postgraduate qualifications, so in other words, a minimum of a master's degree, and none of them would mark if they did not understand the learning material. So I want you to rest assured that between myself and the markers, you are indeed in very good hands. Okay, so without further ado, let us proceed with the session tonight. It's not going to be an incredibly long session because we're going to deal with the upcoming exam and then the Invigilator app. So at this time, you should know that your exam for FOR3701 is scheduled for the 27th of May. If you don't know when the 27th of May is, that is next week and Monday from 12:45 to 16:45. It's going to be a 4-hour exam paper. So I want to urge you, please prepare your exam space. Prepare the space where you are going to be writing your exam or taking your exam. Take the load shedding into consideration. I know one cannot make a plan or cannot prepare for something that happens that's out of ordinary if they steal cables, for example, but have a backup plan in place that were you to have to move at a very last moment, then you are able to and you have a plan in place. Also, prepare your resources, your study guide, your additional materials, so that they are at your disposal when you are getting to write the exam. Okay, so let's work through the date and the times that are important for this date. Now, first of all, it is an open book exam. This does not mean that you simply copy and paste what's in the study guide or in your additional resources. If you do that, you will definitely not pass. You will be flagged and you will be taken to a disciplinary hearing because that's blatantly cheating. So you will be expected to paraphrase your work out of your study guide and out of your additional resources. You will have 4 hours to do this. So the system will open at 12:30. So from 12:30 onwards, you will be able to access and download the exam paper. This is also the time to log on to the Invigilator app. The Invigilator app will only be open from 12:30 to 13:15. That's 45 minutes for you to log into the app and sort out any issues. Then I want to urge you, please read the questions carefully, and when you answer, paraphrase. It's also very, very important that you reference your work, and I want to bring it under your attention that this exam period, there will be no contingency link. So in other words, if you are unable to submit on the Invigilator app or your My Exams portal, you would have lost the opportunity. And please remember that your exam is taking place via the My Exams platform, not the My Modules, but the My Exams platform. So the Invigilator app, it's vital that you realize the importance of timing when it comes to the Invigilator app. There is a window of period to log on. Failure to do so will mean that you do not get to write the exam. So between 12:30 and 13:15, you log into the app. Also, failure to upload your exam paper before the time has passed may also mean an automatic disqualification, and you will be automatically pushed through to the next exam period. You have to upload your answer sheet on the Invigilator app before 16:55. There will be no extension. Remember, your exam is until 16:45. It gives you 4 hours, and then you have 10 minutes to upload onto the Invigilator app. You have been provided with these guidelines. Please, guys, don't wait until Monday morning to test this. Test this as soon as possible. Once again, you will be making use of the QR code. You will get the QR code via your exam site. It's also going to be on your exam question paper that you scan prior to starting the exam. Please, please, please make sure that you write down the WhatsApp number. It's right at the bottom here, but I'm going to give it to you at the end of the session, that if there's any challenges or problems or issues with the Invigilator app, that you send them a WhatsApp. Doesn't help that you communicate with me. I cannot help you with this thing. Do I need to say more? Please test the system. If it doesn't work, contact the people from the Invigilator app at the WhatsApp number. I cannot help you with this. There is the technical support team. Please take down the number and make sure that you use it if you have any challenges. On the day of the exams, if something happens, if there's a technical glitch, take screenshots and report it immediately. Send your query through to the WhatsApp people, to the Invigilator app people, and report it as soon as possible. It doesn't help that Monday evening, 6 o'clock, you send them a WhatsApp or you send me an email to say you had this and that problem. It's too late. You have to do it during the period of your exam. Okay, so answering based on a case study and referencing. These are two issues which I pick up that some of you are really struggling with, but others are doing well. So let's take this image here, for example, and let's imagine the image is your case study, and your question asks something like, use the information from the case study, the picture, and list the number of chairs and explain what color they are. So then you would go and look at the case study, the image, and you would say, okay, I see they are using the information in the case study. There are 3 chairs, I count them, 1, 2, 3, and they are all white, off-white color, situated around what looks like to be a round table. And that is how you would answer based on the case study. But how does that look in practice? So I want to take you to a document quickly that I drew up so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so let's first of all take the question of answering from the case study. By show of hands, can everybody see the document? Just a thumbs up. Okay, all right, so you can all see the document. So let's imagine the question says, we're an analyst to review the cell phone records of Mr. Krookamp. It should be possible to determine the following information. Let's say, for example, you get a question of what type of information can one get if you were to review the cell phone records of the main suspect? Now, who is the main suspect in our case study? It is Mr. Krookamp. So then you can answer something like this. We're an analyst to review the records of Mr. Krookamp. It should be possible to determine the following information. But look at what I've done now. I have copied directly out of this, the study guide, because this is what stands in the study guide. So the study guide says, indicates telephonic communication between specific cellular or telephone numbers, corroborates or refutes the version of a complainant, witness, or suspect, proves previous possession of stolen property, for example, a stolen cell phone or SIM card. Now, this information, if I ask it in the exam and you give it to me, and let's say it counts out of 10, you will maybe get 4 marks. Because what does this information have to do with the case study? Nothing. Anybody can copy and paste out of a study guide. What I want to see, number 1, not a bullet list. You give a discussion, okay? Number 2, let's take the first one. Indicates telephonic communication between specific cellular or telephone numbers. So the cell phone record will indicate whether there has been telephonic communication between Mr. Krookamp and other possible suspects in the fuel stealing syndicate. The cell phone data will corroborate or refute the version given by Mr. Krookamp for him not being at the depot on the date or time in question. It proves possession of stolen property. For example, his cell phone data may indicate other times where he has been to the depot out of period where he was not supposed to be there. The cell phone data may indicate the geographic location where Mr. Krookamp moves around prior to or after the event. The cell phone record will be able to indicate the direction and approximate speed in which Mr. Krookamp moved when he left the depot after he had stolen the fuel. Can you see what I'm doing here? Can you see how I'm linking every aspect that's in the case study with what is in the study guide? Okay, by show of hands, just a thumbs up. so that I can know we are all more or less on track. Okay. I just want to unmute somebody here quickly. Sorry, guys. Okay, never mind. I'll do that just now. Okay, so I hope that you understand better now how to apply the information that is in the case study with the information that is in the study guide or your additional resources. And when I've answered, I put in my reference. This is my reference. It comes out of the study guide. Okay, so let's take a look at some referencing examples. So it would appear that a lot of you are confused about what is in-text referencing and what is the reference list. Now, in short, what you are seeing highlighted here in green, those are my in-text references. This means that the reference is in the text. At the end, this is my reference list. In other words, the references that are in the text must be in my list of references. Okay, so just those two things out of the way. Let's take a look at how you could answer something about modus operandi. Depending on the question is, whatever the question is, let's take a look at how it could be phrased with in-text references. Now, you don't have to use this many. I have added quite a number so that you can see how a reference list should unpack from here and the different types of references. So modus operandi, also referred to as method of operation, refers to the manner in which the perpetrator committed the crime. And then I have my two references there, Brandel 2018 and Turvey 2014. Therefore, establishing the perpetrator's method of operation is made much easier with knowledge about their behaviors. Reference. A sequence of crimes often creates a distinguishable modus operandi. Reference. This in turn can help the police connect crimes to the same criminal, and it might also be significant behavioral evidence to have an impact in an investigation. Reference. So you will see Brandel I've used 3 times, Turvey I've used once, and Hess, Ortman, and Cho I've used once. So now, what does Prof. Benson look for when I go to your reference list? If you want these references to count 1 mark, then I must find these references in the reference list. So let's take Brandel. So I want to see Brandel 2018. Then I go down to your reference list and I look for Brandel 2018. There it is. And it's criminal investigation. So it's a book. It's published, the 4th edition, published in California by Stage. Now, if this isn't 100% correct, it's not a train smash. But at this stage, you must have a more or less grasp of how to do a reference list. Okay, so Brandel, I'm happy with Brandel. Let's take a look at Turvey 2014. Let's see, where's Turvey 2014, and there it is, also a book. And let's take a look at the next one, Hess, Ortman, and Cho 2016. Let's take a look at Hess, Ortman, and Cho 2016, also a book, 11th edition. So for that answer, if your answer is correct in terms of content and if you've paraphrased, You should get very good marks because of your referencing here. Again, as I said, there doesn't have to be so many references. One will be enough, but that one must then be in the reference list. Okay, question 2. Whatever the question was, this question was about the modus operandi of drug mules. So according to Grewal and Capel, this is our reference, our source, and you will see the date and the page number is in brackets. The average age of a body packer is approximately 30 years old, and 80% of packers are men. That's when the people, when they swallow the drugs. Interpol asserts that most sources of information reveals that drug mules traffic illicit goods via African ports are usually male rather than female and are generally between 30 and 49 years old. However, it should be noted the use of female couriers over male couriers has increased over the past few years. So here you have Grewal and Capel and Interpol. I want marks for them, so let's go check if they are in the reference list. So let's go and look at Grewal and Capel. Grewal and Capel, there it is, 2022, and it comes out of a journal. It's an article in a journal. I'm very happy with that. And Interpol 2020, and let's take a look at Interpol 2020. This is an online source. There is the URL to access the online source, and it was accessed on the 19th of March 2021. So I want you to look at, can you see what happens when I activate this? Can you see the little dots disappear? So I activate these dots so that I will be able to see when I type if I have things like this going on. Can you see that there are 2 spaces and there mustn't be 2 spaces? So I activate it for that. And then I want you to take note, look at how criminal investigation is spelled here. Big C, capital I. Body packing, hiding in plain sight, capital B, capital P, capital H, capital P, capital S. So your key terms, not words like in and the, are in capitals. And criminal investigation, capital C, capital I. Now you have an option. You can make this capital C and small I. You can make it capital B, small p, small s, but you have to be consistent. So the tutorial letter gives you an option of how to do it, but apply your method consistently. And I think that is it. Let me go back to the slideshow. I think you all have a better idea now of answering from a case study and referencing. Now, several of you this past assignment were warned about plagiarism. So plagiarism is nothing other than when you copy somebody's work and you present it as your own. Whether you got it from chat, whether you got it from Bing, whether you got it from Copilot, whether you got it from Siri or Alexa or Piet Poggenpoel, it doesn't matter. Plagiarism is plagiarism. You give somebody's work over and you make as if it's your own, it's plagiarism. So I want to urge you, make sure that whatever sources you are using, your study guide, additional resources, cite the work. Please cite the work, put it in the text and put it in the reference list. Let's recap quickly. Your exam date is the 27th of May. Come the 28th of May and you did not take part in the exam, there is nothing I can do for you. Nothing. Unless you landed in hospital or you have a doctor's note that you were too sick to take the exam, you would have missed the opportunity. You get to download the exam paper from 12:30 onwards. So you can log in on 12:30, you can download the paper, and you can have access to that paper for the full 4 hours. You only have a short window, 45 minutes, to scan the QR code to access and activate the Invigilator app. Between 12:30 and 13:15. 13:16, it's gone. The time is gone, and you would have lost the opportunity. You must upload your answer script to the Invigilator app before 5 to 5 the afternoon. 16:55, you must have uploaded it already to the Invigilator app. And you must upload your answer script to my exams before 5:15. Remember, it's a 4-hour exam. You don't have until 5:15 to write and then quickly upload. You have until 4:45. The last half an hour is to upload onto the Invigilator app and upload onto your My Exams. Important contact information. The contact details of the people that work with the Invigilator app, there it is. Write it down, have it big somewhere so that if you need it, it's easily accessible. My contact details. For those of you who do not yet know, there is my email address, there is my cell phone number. If on the day of the exam, there is a problem that has not got to do with the Invigilator app, it's not got to do with your network or your electricity, it's anything else, then you can phone me or write me an email. I cannot help with the Invigilator app. I cannot help with network issues. I cannot help if your computer doesn't want to work. I am not a computer tech. I cannot help if your cell phone doesn't have power. These are things that you must put into place before the time. I cannot help with that. And I cannot help you with answers either. Okay. And that is the end. Let us take some questions from the floor. I'm going to ask the 3 people to raise their hands, and we will then take those questions 1, 2, 3. Okay, any hands? Any hands? Any hands? Any hands? Okay, Karabu, I see you. Fusi, I see you. Okay, let's take Karabu. Karabu, you can unmute yourself and ask. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So my question is, are there any specific learning units that we need to focus on?
Yes, absolutely. Learning unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Fusi?
Hi, Prof.
How are you?
Good. Prof, I just want to ask about some of us who don't have computers to type.
Mm-hmm.
The proctoring tool, apparently it records the sound of the pages and all that. Okay, nobody's
Yeah.
fine. Because this is an open book, sorry. Thank you.
It's open book, yeah.
Thank you.
But Pussy, it's important. It's important. If you are going to write, folks, I can only mark what I can read. So if you scratch like a crab, and I cannot read it, I cannot mark it. Okay? And when you upload, when you scan and upload, make sure you scan and your hand is steady when you scan, because I sometimes get scanned documents that is all fuzzy and de mekaar or cut off. Please just make sure that once you've scanned your document, you page through it before you upload, and make sure that I can see all the pages, and the pages are clear. So Fusi, thank you for that answer, as a question as well. While we're waiting for some more hands, Winty, Milan, Regania, Matubela. Tabi Singh, I note your hand. We'll get to you now. Posted a few questions. Okay. The admissibility of pointing out, since Mr. Krookamp is not under arrest. Okay. How do we prove that he was at the crime scene? By using cell phone. Advantages and disadvantages of surveillance. The surveillance in the case study, and mapping of the cell phone. So we're going to have to ask you to unpack those a little bit. So while we wait for you to unpack those a little bit, Mfundo, can we take your question followed by Ntabi Singh, please?
Hello, Professor.
Yes, hello.
Yes, so I want to ask about submitting on I usually type my
Mfundo, the connectivity is very, very bad. I cannot hear you.
So if I couldn't submit, let's try to move. Can you hear me now?
Mfundo? That's better. Yes, that's better.
Oh, I wanted to ask if is it compulsory to submit on an invigilator app? Because when I'm usually typing, and when you are about to take the pictures, they become blurry. They are not clear on the invigilator app. So if I couldn't submit on the invigilator app, will my exam not be marked?
The exam rule says that you have until 5 to 5 to submit on the invigilator app, and you have 48 hours to confirm your upload. So yes, it's compulsory.
Yes.
Okay, Ntabi Singh?
Good morning. Sorry, good evening, Prof. I just want to ask you about the study guide, about the case study.
Yes.
Are we going to receive the same case study as we received on assignment 2? Or is it going to be a
Yes.
different case study?
Exactly the same case study, Ntabi Singh. Different questions. Different questions.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay. Ingel Nonjabulo.
Hi, Prof.
Yes.
I want to ask that, am I wrong if I put the list of the references at the end of the questions that I'll be answering?
Yes. Your list of references has to be where?
Like, I want to, let me put it like this.
No, I understand your question. Based on what you saw me do, where must your list of references be?
Okay.
Can you remember?
I usually put the list of the references at the end. So like I write question 1, question 2, question 3. Maybe the questions are 5. Then I will write question 1, question 2, till question 5. Then then after question 5, I used to put the list of the references there. Am I wrong if I'm doing like that?
That is quite correct. My apologies. I misunderstood you. I thought you meant that you would put after question 1, you would put the reference there. Question 2, you would put the reference there. And question 3, you would put the reference there. You are quite correct if you say right at the end, after you've answered all the questions, Then you put your reference list.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, my pleasure. All right, let me just get back to my next one. Who do we still have? Oza?
Good evening, Prof.
Hello.
I want to ask, I joined the class late, but I will catch up. Sorry for that. I'm having a problem, Prof. I don't have a laptop. I'm using a cell phone to type my work. So is it compulsory to take a picture from the phone and upload it to the Invigilator app?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof.
Okay. Pamangele?
Good evening, Prof.
Hello.
Prof, I would like to know if maybe can we maybe touch the make a revision of assignment 1 and 2 and the study guide? Is it necessary to focus maybe on the assignments that we did, or is only the study guide? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we did have a previous question very similar to what you were asking, and it's basically asking about scope for the exam. All 5 study units are important. Remember, you don't have to know the work off by heart, but you must know what is in study unit 1, study unit 2, study unit 3. You must know what themes are where, so that when you get a question, you can go to that page and you can go and look. Or you should already know, because you must know the content of your study guide. But all 5 study units are important. Nikki?
Thank you, Prof.
My pleasure.
Good evening, Prof.
Hello.
I want to ask about Invigilator.
Yes.
I managed to upload. If I manage to upload my script on Invigilator, will you mark it? Or
Nikki, I'm struggling to hear you. If you upload on the Invigilator app and then I missed the rest.
No, if I only uploaded my script on Invigilator app, but on my exam I did, will you mark the one that I on my Invigilator app?
Why would you be able to upload on the Invigilator app but not on the My Exam?
Sometimes it's because of time and network.
Okay, but remember, UNISA doesn't consider network problems part of what they consider a plausible excuse. But let's say, for example, you upload on the Invigilator app and it is 10 to 5. And there your stuff goes and it's on the Invigilator app. And something happens and you drop your phone and your phone breaks or cracks or something happens. As soon as you are able to, you contact me via email from your My Life account. You run next door, you go ask your mother, please, I need to use your phone. You contact me, you tell me, I've just uploaded on the Invigilator app. Something happened outside, I got a fright, my phone fell, my phone broke, I'm unable to upload on the exam. Get on record what the problem is so that it can be taken into consideration. Don't contact me at 7 o'clock that night and say, but, oh, I had this problem. Or the next morning, I get an email, oh, I had this problem. It's not going to work. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, because you're right, something could happen.
All right, thank you, Prof.
My pleasure. Okay, Musibudi.
Hi.
Hi.
So Prof, my question here is about the referencing, ne?
Yeah, yeah.
If I maybe you ask like on question 2.1 of assignment 2, you said one should describe in his or her own word what surveillance is, ne?
Yeah, yeah.
So there is an answer on the study guide. Do I do inside text referencing? Then at the end of the exam, after all the questions that have been answered, at the end, do I reference in ascending order prior to how I have referenced the in-text referencing, or do I only reference at the end of the exam before? Yeah, that's my
Okay.
question.
Important question. Let's take a look
Yes.
at that example I gave you just now. So imagine here's your exam paper, né? And there's your
Yes.
questions. Question 1, there you've answered. Question 2, you've answered. Question 3, you've answered. Question 4, question 5, question 6. Okay,
Yes.
now you've answered all the questions. Here is
Yes.
my reference list. What do you notice in terms of the reference list? Is it numbered?
They are not numbered. They are in
Not
ascending
numbered.
order as to how you have referenced them on like.
No, no, no. They are alphabetical.
Oh, I should put them alphabetically.
Alphabetical. Okay. Now let me show you a quick tip quickly. So here's my references. Now let's make them dear mekaar quickly so that I can show you what I want to show you. Let's say I was in a hurry and this is how I captured my references. Now, and now I'm getting ready to submit. Then I highlight this, and then I go to this little A to Z here. And I click on A to Z and I say sort by paragraph, text, ascending. And I say, okay. And look what it does.
Oh, okay.
It puts it alphabetical. Okay. Then you don't have to go and say, oh, A, B, C. Let the computer,
I get your point right now, because as a student, we just reference as long as we know we have got the reference. So we just put the reference in like a descending order as long as there's a reference. But now I get it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Okay, Masilu. Masilu? I can't hear you. You're not coming through. Okay, let's take the next one while Masilu sorts out the microphone. Gumedi. Student Gumedi. Sintwezinhle Gumedi. Okay, Tandazile.
Good evening, Prof. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm all right, thank you. My question is also about the Invigilator app. I was just wondering if does it really matter? Do you guys check as to when the exam was submitted on the app and compared to when it was submitted on the My Exam site? Do you consider the time gap?
Yes,
Because
we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do. But Tandazile, the only thing that's important here is it must be on the Invigilator app before 5:25.
All right.
And it must be uploaded on your My Exams before 5:15.
Oh, okay. Because I was just
Okay.
wondering if it happens that you submit on my on the Invigilator app, and then you submit on my exam 10 minutes later, is that going to be an issue as to say why is this one
No,
10 minutes late?
no. You can even submit on your let's say you submit on Invigilator app at 16:50 and at 16:52 on My Exams. That's also fine.
All right.
Just bear in mind the cut-off time, hey?
All right. Thank you, Prof.
My pleasure. Masilu, are you yet able to unmute yourself and talk to us? I still can't hear. Can anybody else hear Masilu? Okay. Zintwe Zihle, you can ask your question. Oh dear. Pindile.
Thank you, Prof, for the opportunity, and thank you for this class. My question is concerning the classes that we had with Brigadier. So there is a piece of information that I say is very useful to me. But now that piece of information, it's out of our content. So how do I reference that information?
Okay. Brilliant question. Which brigadier are you referring to? The one that spoke to you about the cell phone?
No, Prof, the one who spoke about LOCAD.
Oh, okay. That's actually a general. General. Not a problem. But it's a very, very good question. So if you go and look at your reference guide, it has referencing videos from the internet. So there is a way of referencing, referencing videos from the internet. It depends on, did you get it on your module site or did you get it on my YouTube channel? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it easy for you, Pandile. I am going to, on the chat and on the module group, I am going to give you the format for how to reference the class recordings. Okay, will that help?
Yes, yes, Prof. Thank you.
I shall do that. I shall do that for you. Very good question. Thank you for asking that question.
I still have another question.
Okay, but you must now wait for the others.
No, never mind, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, no, but go off and then you come back on again, because then you will go into the back of the queue again.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Pandile. Tandeka.
Good evening, Prof.
Hello.
Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Hello.
I hear you.
Okay, I would like to ask, you say that we are going to have the same case study from the assignment 2.
Yes.
But different questions.
Yes.
And is it going to be over 50 like the assignment?
More than 50. Yes, it's going to be more than 50.
It's going to be more than 50.
Yes.
Okay, just that I wanted to prepare the final mark.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to pause here quickly. I want to take some of the questions in the chat. So we're going to start with Mosibudi when we come back. Let's go to the chat. The admissibility of pointing out since Mr. Crowcombe is not arrested. Would somebody like to talk to us about this? Wenty, are you able to talk to us about it?
Evening, Prof. Thank you for organizing this revision class.
Yes.
The only thing that I'm confused about is that the study guide says pointing out must be done after the arrest.
Yeah.
However, I feel like if you were to volunteer to point out to the corporate investigator, as long as you did it voluntarily and without plagiarizing or any promise of any reward whatsoever. But now my challenge is, if the issue were to go to court, would the evidence be admissible?
Okay, that's a good question. Rudy, I see that you are on the platform. Can I ask you to share your thoughts with us on this?
My thoughts.
No. Vuenti, I'm speaking to one of the markers. Mr. Van Sail or Mrs. Storm. I see that you are both here. Will you be able to, either of you, speak to this or share your thoughts with us on this? Okay, I don't know if they are simply not hearing me. Is there anybody else that wants to hazard an opinion or a view? Okay, so Wenty, in the space of emptiness where nobody's answering, when you look at our justice system, the important thing is your Bill of Rights. That whatever we do, whether we wear a badge or whether we just wear a title that says we're a forensic investigator, we work within the framework of the law. Now, if Mr. Crowcombe says to me, you know what, Bernadine, I feel so bad about what I did. I want to show you where I went and dropped the fuel. Now, there is not a clear legal process that says, now Bernadine has to do A, B, and C. What I will do, because I was a police official, I would warn Mr. Crowcombe. He's not under arrest, but I will warn him. I'll tell him, you know what? You have the right to remain silent. I would warn him according to judges' rules, so that he understands he does not have to talk to me. And that I'm not threatening him. I'm not making any promises. And then I would get somebody who is not me to do the pointing out. Because whoever does the pointing out should not be involved in the actual investigation. And then there must be a specific process that is followed where things are photographed and there's an audit trail of what happens. But there is not yet clear step-by-step instructions for a forensic investigator. So I hope that gives you a bit more clarity. You must just be able to prove at the end of the day that the pointing out was done freely and voluntary. You didn't threaten him. He wasn't tortured. He wasn't forced. He wasn't coerced. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, Prof, I get you.
Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, let's take a question from Musibudi Morapa.
Prof, my other question was, can you hear me? My other question, I'm concerned about this pen.
Yeah.
Okay, my other question was, there's no way you can ask a question that is not from this case study. For example, okay, I'm writing my supplementary exam this year. On question 5 of last year, there was a question about polygraphs and something like that. But in the case study, I don't remember the case study talking about polygraph. So if there's a question that is not from the case study, do we go like answer from the study guide? But we can't just use the same words again. We have to paraphrase or use our own words. And after that, we reference.
Yes.
Or
yes.
It's not okay.
You are quite correct. So if there is, for example, a question that is not in the study guide, let's say, for example, I ask you, who is the author of the study guide? Or it's not in the case study, sorry.
Yes.
Then you would answer from the study guide.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Very, very insightful question. Thank you for asking that.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, Zintle?
Hi, Prof. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about it earlier. I don't have a microphone on my PC, but I've transferred to my phone.
Awesome.
How many questions can I ask?
One question.
Oh dear.
No, but then you fall into the back of the row again.
Okay, no problem. I wanted to ask if it's almost like Musibidi's a question, but the other way around. If the case study has got nothing to do with the question. For example, okay, I can't give it an example right now, but I have the answer to the question. Do I still need to reference or go back to or include the case study in my answer? That's what I'm trying to ask. Should I include the case study in so whatever is mentioned in the case study, is it a must for me to also include it or put it into my answer? Or can I just answer the question as best as how I know it without actually referring back to the case study? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, no, you make sense. You make sense. So the instruction has always been, where relevant, apply the case study to the answer. So like the example I gave you of the cell phone, what will a cell phone analyst be able to get? We refer to Mr. Krookamp in the case study. But if you, for example, if I, for example, say, what are the 5 principles that a team leader of an investigative team should have?
Hello, Prof.
Hi, everybody. My apologies. I was disconnected. So if there's a disjunction between a disconnect between the question and the case study, if there's no direct connection, then you answer out of your study guide or your additional material that you have gathered for yourself.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, let's see who else. I had Pendile, but she's now disappeared. So you know what? Zintle, you may ask another question.
Yay.
Yay!
Okay, and then my last question was in connection with referencing. I don't know if you have the time, because it is quite a long question, but I am still not clear as to how when you are doing an in-text referencing and you've got your source from an internet source and it's an organization, as well as it doesn't have a date of publication. I'm still not sure how to do an in-text referencing for that.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So here is an internet source, no? And it is an organization. It's Interpol.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I made a mistake with my in-text referencing, but I'm going to show you what I did now. So I would then refer to Interpol 2020, because that is, let's say, the date that's on the document, okay, is 2020. But the mistake I made here, and I only pick it up now, my apologies, is here's a page number. Here shouldn't be a page number. For the simple reason, it's not a PDF. So usually when you download, there would be .pdf, and then I would be able to put in a page number. But if there is no PDF there, then no page number is required.
Okay.
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 I want to try and open something for you quickly. Let me open ACFE, South Africa. Okay, let's say I get something off the net. And this is where I went, and this is where I got it. I usually scroll down right to the bottom, and then I see, okay, is there a date here? There's no date here. If I want, let's say I want this document. No, let's take an easier one. Let's take one of these documents. Legal and governance. Let's see, legal and governance. Okay, here's the ACFE Code of Ethics. So let's say I want to reference their Code of Ethics. Here's the document. Then I would scroll down to the bottom. I'd say, no, there's no date. Then I would go down to the bottom here. Again, no date. So guess what? It's going to be, now you have one of two options. Either you use the SA, which says no publication date, or you use the date on which you accessed it.
Okay.
Okay. But I think it's relatively safe to say, in terms of this, let's see. Okay. So yeah, there's a date in this document. So I would use 2020 in that document. And it would also be a corporate author. It would be the ACFE. Okay.
So is ND correct, if I may ask?
No. Look here. So your study guide has no date. SA. Yeah.
Okay.
SA. Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And then in the text, it's going to look like this: the square bracket, but a small SA. Hey.
And what does that stand for, if I may ask?
I'm going to get it for you now. It stands for sine anno, which means without a year.
Okay, okay. And is it sharp brackets like those or the rounded
Yes,
brackets?
the square bracket. The square bracket.
The square brackets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That's a good example. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Sure. My pleasure. Okay. Masilu?
Good evening, Prof.
We have a male. Yay! How are you?
Finally.
Finally. Yes, please ask.
My question is, are we permitted to use additional resources as part of the source during exam? For example, tutorial letter 202.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you
Are we
are.
permitted to?
Yes, but
How?
Masilu, don't copy. Don't copy. Nah?
Of course. How can you reference? Of course, I will copy.
No, I know you guys, eh? I know what you students are going to do now. You're going to copy and paste, and then it's not even about the question. So, Masilu, I will also, as I said to one of the other students, I will give you the format for the referencing of a tutorial letter as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay, Pindile is back.
Thank you, Prof. Prof, I feel as if in the scenario, maybe they should have included maybe the size of the containers, because if you're feeling if you have containers at the back of your buggy, only the speed that you can travel for a certain containers, and and also the weights on the buggy. So now I feel as if maybe they were supposed to maybe to include the size of those petrol containers.
Okay, Pindile.
Yes, Prof.
I hear you, and I see why you are asking the question, which is why in the case study I said he drives a bakkie, like a GWM LDV bakkie, nah? Now,
Yes.
in your mind, you should know how big that bakkie is.
Yes, I know the
So,
bakkie.
yes, so now you should know that the containers are not very large. They can't be very large containers.
Yes, Prof. But you said in practical.
Wait. The speed at which he was going,
Yes.
the transporting of fuel, whether it's stolen or not, has got nothing to do with the investigation. It would have been different if he was driving the bakkie and he hit a pedestrian and he was going too fast with the fuel containers. Then the size of the container becomes relevant.
Yes.
Okay, but in this scenario, the size of the container is not relevant to the investigation per se. Theft is theft in this case, whether he stole one small bucket of teaspoon of fuel or if he stole a whole tanker. Theft is theft. But because the amount of fuel is not pertinent to the case study, that is why I just said so many containers on the back of the bakkie.
I know. Okay, thank you, Prof. No, but Prof, you say in practical, you say the petrol hose for a refinery. It's not like when you're filling in a garage. It's not the same. So that's one for the refinery. It's bigger.
Yeah.
It's very
How big
big.
is it? How big is it? How big
No,
is it?
it's big. It's big. it's
Like
very big.
30 centimeters. Like 30 centimeters.
Yeah, it's quite big.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is,
Okay.
yeah, it's quite big.
Okay. So the containers. Let's say the containers were these big blue
Liters.
drums that you put chemicals in. Hey.
Yeah, 50 liters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my argument, if it was 50 liters,
Yeah.
will a bike carry 50
Yeah.
liters?
Yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The buckies are usually 3 tons. They can take
Yeah.
3 tons.
Okay, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, but no,
Thank you.
Pindile, I like your question. And
All right.
who knows, maybe next semester the students will get specific sized containers of fuel, hey? Because Pindile wants specific containers.
No, Prof, because some questions you have to put them in practical.
You are quite correct, Pindile. You are quite
Yes.
correct. Yeah, I didn't think of it in that context, but you
Yes.
have opened my mind to a practical aspect, which I will
Yes.
take into consideration going forward. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Prof. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, folks, it is 7:10. I want to go and look at some of the all right, so okay, admissibility of pointing out. How do we prove that he was at the crime scene? By using a cell phone. You get a 205, and geographic placement would place him on the scene with the cell phone towers. Now, advantages and disadvantages of surveillance, guys. Advantages, you see real life, you see in person, you see what's actually going on. And that's why we do physical surveillance in terms of this case study. Electronic surveillance is going to help nothing. We know he's stolen this stuff. I want to see, where does he go? Who is he meeting? Where does he move? Where does he drive? I want to see who he's meeting with. Now I take electronic surveillance. I see geographically he goes to yeah. And now I must get in my car and I must go and drive and say, okay, what is yeah? Whereas if I did physical surveillance, in other words, I get in a vehicle and we follow him, then I can take photographs in real time, what he's doing, who he's meeting. I can in real time say, okay, this person, I see this face, I have this suspect's face, this is the address. So it's just better evidence when you do the physical surveillance. Who is the surveillant in the case study? Guys, who is the surveillant in the case study? Anybody? Kapelu, who's the surveillant? Nonjabulo? Nonjabulo? Who would you say is the surveillant in the case study?
Good day, Prof. How are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm okay. Okay, Prof. In the surveillance in this case study, I think it's gonna be Mr. Who is this? Mr. Let me check, Prof, because I read somewhere here. Oh, it's gonna be Warrant Officer Matango.
Yes, or you as the investigating officer, the corporate investigator, or the people from technical support unit. That is the surveillant, the person who is doing the surveillance. And then the subject will be the person you are looking at.
The subject gonna.
Yeah, the subject is the person that you are looking at. So it's Mr. Krookamp. Okay. Okay. There was a last question. Vuenti, yes, ask your question.
I just wanted to confirm, Prof. So, meaning if the question was to say, who is the surveillant in the case study, my answer would be Warrant Officer Masango or me
Yes.
as the corporate investigator. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But guys, let the marks guide you. Please, let the marks guide you. Okay, Nikki asked if there's scope for the exam. Guys, all five study units. Should we number the answers during the exam or write in paragraph form? Number your question, number your answers. And then if it's discuss, then discuss. Don't give me a bullet list. You can break it up into little paragraphs. That's fine. Don't give me a bullet list. Sudu, si do ziwe, si do ziwe. You asked, what if it's a flag because of technical issues? Will our marks be held again? So I had a massive fight with the people from exams last semester and the previous semester, because how can you flag students for out of app time when it's an open book exam? They must leave the app to go and look at the study guide. So we had to let the people from exams know that you are writing an open book. So while the system will flag you, it's going to say that you were out of the app time. When we analyze the data, it's something we will not take into consideration. It's not something that will get you into trouble. What will get you into trouble is if Tandeka and Masilu are sitting next to each other and they are writing together and they're chatting and they're giving each other answers. That will get you into trouble. Or if you copy directly from the study guide, or if you copy directly from any other source, you don't put it in your own words and you don't paraphrase. Please, you must paraphrase. And guys, don't use AI to answer your questions. Our system picks it up. Please, I'm warning you, don't use AI to answer your questions. Don't play with your academic career. Ethics and honesty is a fundamental part of who an investigator is. Please be ethical in what you do. Nobody's going to know what you did except you. And then when the AI generation comes out. Okay, Vuenti, do you have another question? Because we are already at 20 past and my family is starting to scream at the door they want to eat. Any questions? Any more questions? Okay, can I ask everybody? Okay,
Sorry, can you kindly please repeat your question?
Hey?
Yes, Prof. Can you kindly please repeat your question? I think my network is giving me problems. What were you saying?
I was saying that I need to wrap up now because my family is hungry and it's 20 past 7 already.
No, just tell them we're so grateful for the little time that they borrowed us.
Oh, they know I love what I do. Okay, everybody, please, I want to encourage you. Let's talk on Telegram. Let's help each other on Telegram. Let's help each other write. Let's not do shortcuts. The only way to do this is the right way. Go and look at how to answer a case study again. Go and look at feedback assignment 1, assignment 2. Assignment 2, students made horrible mistakes because they didn't read the questions. They didn't apply their own thinking. That is what I want to see. I want to see your own thinking, your own voice. because that's the only way in this space I can determine, yes, you know the work, or no, you don't. Because folks, I cannot pass you if you still don't understand. So I'm going to end with the following. The low card exchange principle only works in physical space. So in other words, if I come into the office and I put my hand on the table, or I bump my knee on the chair, or if I slap Tandeka, it's two physical things that come into contact with each other. If I drop my cup on the floor, it leaves a mark. If I bump with my car into a pole, it leaves a mark. If I bump a pedestrian with my car, it leaves a mark. That is the low card principle. You don't get the low card principle off a computer unless you are looking for fingerprints. Keystroke is not low card principle. Now, the Lochner principle is based on the low card principle, but it's not the same. The Lochner principle only works with signals. In other words, with cell phone towers. Doesn't work with computers. So I don't use the Lochner principle to check if somebody's been on a computer. It doesn't work like that. The Lochner principle works with cell phone signals and cell phone towers. You may not ping somebody's phone. It is illegal. It is illegal, and the court will only give permission if it's like life-threatening. If I can prove to the magistrate that Tandeka has been kidnapped, she has her cell phone with her. Her cell phone will show us where the kidnapper has taken her. And she's been kidnapped by this horrible person. We're sure it's this person, and therefore we need to ping her phone so that we can find her. So it's only in the most extreme cases where the court will permit and will give an authorization for pinging. You cannot just ping somebody's cell phone. It is illegal. There was recently a case in the Cape where a police official pinged a suspect's number, and he's in trouble because of it. Because anything that comes as a result of that is inadmissible. So I hope you understand the difference now between the low card principle, physical space, two things touching each other, and the Lochner principle, cell phone signals. Okay. Okay, I am going to sign off now. I'm going to love and leave you. I am super excited about this upcoming exam. I think you guys are going to ace it because you all showed up. But I want to ask you, please, go work through your study guide and make sure you know what is written in your study guide. Please, please, please. I send you all lots of love and lots of kisses. Have a good evening. And until we see each other on Monday, shalom.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Prof.
Bye.
Bye, Prof. Good night.
Good night, good night, good night.